What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of the Premier League SPUR-SPECTIVE Round 2. Obviously, we do our Premier League predictor show in preview to the games on the weekend. Me and Simeon give our predictions and we have our scores on the doors. It's 1 point for a correct result, 3 points for a correct result and both teams to score, 5 points for a correct score and 2 points for a correct starman goal scorer. And we might be adding an assist as well. So it's 2 points for a goal scored and 1 point for an assist. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Liverpool against Burnley at Anfield was the first game of the weekend. Both of us going 2-0. And the score was 2-0, so 5 points all round for us.
Yeah, we pretty much called it spot on. Liverpool going to take an early lead. Burnley were going to hold tight before Liverpool killed them off late on, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Mane with a lovely goal, I thought, in the second half. Really good team goal, and Liverpool look as sharp as ever at the moment, and they're starting the season strong.
Yeah, and big performances from their fullbacks. I think Tsimikas and Trent Alexander-Arnold both getting an assist that game.
Yeah, and Tsimikas looks like a good replacement for Robertson, doesn't he?
Robertson's back now.
Is he?
Yeah, he was on the bench that game.
Oh, I didn't know, but he looked good. He's looked good in the first two games, Tsimikas for sure, and Trent looks back to his best as well.
Yeah, he does. So that makes it 18 to me, 22 to Sim as we move over to Villa against Newcastle. We both going for draws on the day. Sim going for 2-2, I went for 1-1, but the score was 2-0 to Aston Villa, and Aston Villa getting back to business, really.
Yeah, I think they actually got a bit lucky in this game. Callum Wilson missing a one-on-one in the first 5 minutes, which he put in wide. He really should have scored. And then obviously Villa grabbing a goal just before half-time. Lovely overhead kick from Danny Ings.
What a goal.
One of the best up for goal of the month, that one, that's for sure.
Goal of the season.
Potentially. And then Newcastle had a penalty in the second half, which was overturned from VAR after a slight offside from Wilson. So I think at the end of the day, Newcastle feel like they could have got something out of this game. But Villa, get their first win of the season. Yeah,
and Danny Ings is already paying back the money that they paid for him, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't had a game he hasn't scored yet. 2 goals.
2-2.
2-2, yeah, exactly. So let's move on. No one gets a point there, but let's move on to Crystal Palace against Brentford. You went for a Brentford win, 2-1. I went for 2-2. The score was a 0-0, the first 0-0 of the season. Did you see much of this game?
No, I was watching the other games. More interested in that, yeah. But I saw some of it, and Palace were struggling. I thought Brentford a bit lucky maybe to get away with a point as well, because I think Palace was slightly the better team, but Palace only starting with a point in the first 2 games, so yet to score a goal under Patrick Vieira.
Brentford will probably take that as a good point, to be fair, away at Palace.
4 points first 2 games, good start for them.
Can't really complain. First game Arsenal as well. Some would say Arsenal probably the easier the game, but who knows. But it is 1 point to me for that one, so the gap is closing a little bit, 22-19 to Sim, as we move on to Leeds against Everton, which, Leeds against Everton was the game I watched, and I thought it was a really, really good game of football. The predictions, you went 2-1 to Leeds, I went 3-2 to Leeds, but it did finish 2-2, and what a good game of football it really was. I thought Rafinha was really good. I thought Everton played a good game, and I thought it was just 2 good teams really going at it.
Yeah, it was hell for leather, and it was one of those where Everton got a VAR penalty early in the first half with Cooper pulling the shirt from Calvert-Lewin. They took an early lead, but Leeds hit back immediately with that lovely goal by Klich. I think Rafinha was a thorn in Everton's side throughout the whole game. They ended up getting a goal in the second half to equalise.
He just kept constantly taking shots all game,
so many
pretty
shots.
Much.
And but also Demarai Gray getting his first goal.
What a goal that was, by the way.
Really nice finisher. Maybe could he have found a home at Everton? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe. But it was a really good game of football. Leeds the first game back, Ellen Rowe was rocking, and it was a great game.
Yeah, when Leeds got that first equaliser, the whole place literally shook. It was mental how good the atmosphere was. That's expected with Leeds' first game back and the first game with fans in the Premier League, full capacity. But at the moment, it is 19-22 still to Sim as we move over to Manchester City against Norwich. Sim going 4-0. I went 4-1, but it finished 5-0. That last goal right at the end just killing you for 5 points.
So annoying. I thought I was in it. I thought I was going to get those 5 points. I thought I had it sealed, but unfortunately wasn't to be. But look, I always thought it was going to be a big scoreline. I think City wanted to make a statement after the opening day defeat, and I thought Norwich were going to be on the end of a whooping. Ended up that way. They didn't get on the score sheet either, yet to score this season, Norwich, and they got Leicester next, so it's a really tough start for them. But I was very impressed with Gabriel Jesus in this game. Didn't play his normal number 9 role. He played on the wing, on the right wing in this game, and he ended up with 2 assists, setting up his teammates, and he had a great game. And Grealish getting on his foot with his first goal, not the best goal, but he got his first goal for City.
Not that he knew much about it.
Definitely didn't. But great first win for City to start their season, really.
Did you see when the ball hit Grealish, like he was like scrambling to like try and rectify his mistake, and it just trundled in.
He's like, oh, all right, that's my first goal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, so that's the Man City game. Sim gets 3 points. I get 1 point, so it's 25-20 to Simeon as we move over to the last game on the Saturday, which was Brighton against Watford. Sim went 2-1 to Brighton. I went 1-1, but it finished 2-0 to Brighton, and Brighton with an absolutely brilliant start to the season, and they're finally scoring some goals.
Yeah, they kind of pounced on a mistake for the second goal, winning the ball literally right outside the box, and Morpie was able to get a one-on-one and finish it. But a very impressive start for Brighton, turning it around last week against Burnley and now winning 2-0 at home to Watford, and they thoroughly deserved it. Watford weren't really in the game much, and Brighton were well worth the 3 points in this game, and they dominated. And it shows again, maybe Potter, I predicted Brighton to have a better season they had last season, be high up in the table, and look, they've had a great start. And I think Potter's a really good manager, I really do. I think he's doing a good job there.
Yeah, he is, and they've had a brilliant start to the season. 26-20 to Simeon now, a bit of a gap opening, 6 points. As we move over to the Sunday games, the first game we're going to talk about is Southampton against Manchester United. Both of us going for Man United wins, 2-0 and 3-1 respectively, and it will finish 1-1, and in probably the surprise result of the weekend. Everyone was expecting a resounding Man U win after their opening game of the season against Leeds, but it wasn't to be. Mason Greenwood did score for Manchester United, but flattered to deceive, didn't they, Man United?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, both teams had really good opportunities, and especially Southampton had their best ones later on. Adam Armstrong missing a one-on-one, and he missed his back post header, which would have been an open goal, but he just completely miscued it, and they were full of grief. But then again, Man United had some presentable opportunities as well. At the other end, I think Martial had one, Pogba as well had some good opportunities. So I think both teams will kind of feel like they could have got all three. Southampton obviously going to be much happier with the point. And but a bit of controversy. Did you see the foul in the build up to Southampton goal? Do you feel like it was a foul on Bruno?
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, it made Ollie after the game say that. Because there's been a protocol this season with VAR referees to be a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Let the game flow a bit more and not be so heavy-handed with the whistle. And he says it's important we don't turn football into rugby in response to that. Do you think he's right in saying that, or do you think maybe it's right that what the referees are doing and making sure that we're not giving away such easy free kicks anymore?
Yeah, I think it's right the way things are going. I think the way that things were in the Premier League last year made it a bit unbearable. And I think the changes that have been made following on from the great refereeing in the Euros, I think it's the right way to go. And I think everyone can get behind the refereeing that was in the Euros. But as when you look at the Premier League last year, literally every game, when you think about it, it was just unbearable. The refereeing decisions that were happening, the stopping, the starting, I mean, everything. It was just unbearable. When you look at the Euros, I think that's the way, that's the blueprint that people should go to follow on.
I think we've gotten so used as a audience or viewers of the Premier League, like that what is a foul, like, oh, he got touched and he goes down, so it has to be a foul. We got so used to that we've forgotten, like, only like 4 or 5 years ago, like, these things used to not be given, and you used to be like, referees used to play on wave play on a lot more, and I'm really excited and happy we're getting back to that, because I felt I completely agree. I was just sick of just players going down easy and the referees just felt like they were forced to blow up every time. And now I feel like, players might need to show a bit of strength and stuff like that.
Let the game flow, man. That's what we want.
Yeah, it was way too stop-start. So I think Oli is completely wrong here.
Yeah, I agree. All right, 26-20 as no points are given in that one. As we move into Spurs against Wolves at the Molineux. Sim went 2-1 to Spurs. I went 1-1. So Sim gains another point on me there, 27-20. In a really good game of football. Wolves did have all the possession and all the play, but Spurs did have kind of the best chances of the game. I mean, we've spoken to death about this game already.
Yeah, of course. But I guess, in a way, you called the game right in the sense that Wolves should have probably got a point out of that one. They were probably unlucky it wasn't a draw. Look, Spurs absolutely scraped past it. We earned the victory, stayed strong, and it was a hard-fought win.
Yeah, definitely. What the scores on the doors now are 20-27. Arsenal against Chelsea, which was the last game on the Sunday. I expected a 4-0 win to Chelsea. You went 3-1. 2-0 was the score. I mean, in hindsight, building up to the game, I was thinking to myself, maybe I should have picked 2 or 3-0. But I couldn't see Arsenal scoring, and that was exactly the way it worked out. Lukaku completely bullying the Arsenal defence. And I think that even Chelsea, I mean, at some point during the game, they just took their foot off the gas and was like, game over.
Yeah,
really.
And also, if it wasn't for some Leno heroics in the second half, it could have easily been at least 3. Chelsea were completely dominant throughout the whole game. Arsenal barely turned up. Even in the second half, they had one moment where Holding had a header wide, but other than that, they literally didn't have anything. Mate, do you reckon they could have had a penalty? Saka foul James foul on Saka in the first half?
I don't remember it.
But Reece James, I thought, was a constant thorn in the Arsenal side. Great goal he scored and got an assist for Lukaku as well. And I think Arteta got his tactics horribly wrong. I think he should have gone with the back 5. He should have tried to nullify Chelsea's wing backs. And he kind of just gave Reece James the freedom of the Emirates to do whatever he wanted. And he did exactly that. And it was a great win. And look, what a start for Lukaku at Chelsea. He looks to be the missing piece, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Like 15 minutes in already, first goal, no settling in period. Like I said, he completely bullied Pablo Mari. And Arsenal look lost at the moment. Don't know where the next goal's coming from. They literally, 2 games gone now, 2 losses, no goals scored. And it's getting a bit embarrassing for them.
It is. And if they don't score against Man City, someone said they're going to have to pick their goal of the month from training.
Maybe they'll have a VAR something disallowed that they can choose for goal of the month.
VAR disallowed goal, yeah. They have to pick an opposition goal for goal of the month.
But the scores on the doors now, 28 to Simeon, 23 to me, as I claw it back a little bit. Last game of the weekend was last night, West Ham, Leicester, in an absolutely sensational game. At the London Stadium, 1-1. Simeon went, I went 2-2, but it finished 4-1 to West Ham. I mean, that red card ruined it for Leicester completely, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was such a stupid challenge from Perez. Didn't need to go over the top like that. I think the referee was right to send him off. I think it was a dangerous tackle from Perez, and I think it completely ruined the game for Leicester. I think they were well in it. They might have been able to get something out of it if he didn't do that challenge and if he didn't go down to 10 men. But you got to say, West Ham made the most of it, that's for sure. And they were already 1 up, so you can't really complain. But they got gifted the second goal, didn't they, pretty much from Sionchu. And then they went on to absolutely run riot late in the game with Mikel Antonio with some impressive finishes.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant play from Mikel Antonio. 2 goals, 1 assist. Benrahma as well, having an absolutely sensational game.
And a sensational start to the season, a goal and assist in each game.
Yeah, Benrahma and Antonio, definitely 2 of the standout players so far in the Premier League, opening 2 games of the season. And very impressive from West Ham, very impressive. Albeit against 10 men, yes, but still impressive. 4-1 against Leicester, 4-2 away at Newcastle. So 8 goals for the opening 2 games of the season for West Ham. Very impressive. And
Leicester, even when they've got 10 men, they're not a team you expect to crumble. Even with 10 men, you expect them to kind of still make it tight, make it difficult. And maybe it's because they were losing already that it was they
had to come out more, didn't they?
Yeah, potentially that was why. But still, 4-1, even against 10-man Leicester, still kind of impressive, in my opinion.
And the star men, I went for Romelu Lukaku. Sim, who did you go for?
Sadio Mane.
You went for Sadio Mane of Liverpool, both getting a goal. So the scores at the end of this game week is 30 to Simeon, 25 to me. Not too far behind, just one correct score gets me level for next week, so I am not worried whatsoever. But as we move, that's it for the Premier League's perspective. We move over to the Predictor Show back on Friday, so we'll see you all then. Scores on the doors 30 to 25 in Simeon's favour. Thank you everyone for watching today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.